Hey everybody, Vaughn here with the Vonster vlog, and welcome to day 43 of a year of yoga. Again, I'm just like, I know I said I was excited yesterday, but I'm increasingly excited today, and I didn't honestly think it was possible to be more excited than what I was yesterday, but today's proven that entirely is not the case. So, I can't even imagine what our level of I can't even begin to imagine what the level of enthusiasm is going to be at like day 200 or something. Like, this is crazy. But let's get right to it, you guys. We are going to start out just here in the familiar place at the foot of our mat, grounding through our feet, wiggling our toes, wiggling our fingers, giving everything a good just wiggle. As we inhale and exhale. Just clearing our mind, everything else that's not right here, right now. Grounding through our feet, growing through the top of our heads. And we can actually start getting our arms moving a little bit as we inhale and exhale. Inhale. A little bit of a back bend. And exhale. Let us fold forward. We can actually use our blocks or a chair or couch or cushion, just whatever, to bring the floor up to us. And we can actually just sway our hips from side to side as we bend forward, really stretching through our hamstrings. I like to lean forward and back as I stretch deeper in. Oh, there goes my back popping. As I stretch deeper into my back. And you may find yourself inching your block down closer to the ground, and that's okay. You may find yourself needing to come up out of the stretch more than what you thought, and that's okay too. Let's come now into finding a moment in a place of stillness, with a very gentle micro bend in our knees to protect the joint there. And when you're ready, bend your knees a little bit more, scooch those blocks out of the way, and roll up one vertebrae at a time before we inhale up one more time and exhale back down into our forward fold, and then halfway lift and lower down the rest of the way as we walk our fingertips out and bring our knees to the ground for tabletop. Sorry, there's like a dog hair in my mouth. I try so hard, you guys. I really do, to do like a professional quality video. And I'm so not there. And I so appreciate you guys still being here regardless. So, bringing my hands below my shoulders, but forward just a little bit. Bringing my hips over my knees. My knees are actually a little bit wider than what just hip width is, but that's what's comfortable for my body. And we'll come here to tabletop, as though the tip of our spine to the tip of our tailbone is one straight solid rod. We pull our navel in towards our spine, engaging our core, pushing the ground away from us, grounding through our knees and the tops of our feet. And just breathing here a moment, really just being present and engaged. And now from that place, we can arch up into cow posture as we breathe in, and arch into cat as we breathe out. Ooh. Inhaling up and in, and exhaling out. And we can actually do a little bit of an undulation here if you want it more dynamic today. Some days I really want the extra movement. I'm going to change direction, and other days I really just want simple cat-cow. Ooh, yes, that is so good. Sorry, it's like Rice Krispie treats. Just everything snapping and crackling and popping, getting warmed up, getting the blood flowing. Changing direction again. There we go. Now from here, I'm going to shift my knees in just a little bit, and we are going to do our bird dog point with a crunch. So coming back to this tabletop position, again, I find myself in like a mindset of like hyping myself up for it, and it's like, this is okay. This is not the hardest thing in the world. We've got this. Inhale and exhale, extending my right arm and my left leg. My fingers and toes are still on the ground. Inhale and exhale, lift up. Inhaling and moving with our breath, exhale into a crunch. Inhale, extending as though we're being pulled by our toe and our fingertips to, just being pulled, not apart, but definitely lengthened. And crunching in, really engaging our core, pulling the navel up into the spine, trying to get, everything just as tightly balled in together as possible. One more on this side. And down. It's very difficult still. My left arm, my supporting arm, is always shaking by the end of that. I'm actually going to come back and sit on my feet for just a moment to take a bit of a breather. Now, my goal is to be very light on my hands and knees, like very controlled, not just like, a sack of potatoes, dead weight, just burdening those joints. If I can engage my muscles that are supporting and surrounding those joints, it can give me a feeling of lightness. But there's just so much going on that at my current state of mind, like I cannot focus on everything. So focus on what you can and just keep doing the thing. That's why it's called a yoga practice. You don't just like, boom, did the yoga, done, never need to do it again, got all the benefits. Like it's not like that. Like you need to, if not daily, just, because I realize it's not suitable for everybody, but just establish your practice to where you can keep coming back to it. It's, just like how we have to eat throughout the day and drink water throughout the day to replenish and nourish our bodies. I feel like yoga and music and art and dance and so much of the stuff that makes us feel so vibrant is nourishing our inner selves. And we need to kind of continually feed and nourish that part of ourselves that I know for me so often gets neglected in favor of more tangible things like work and cleaning and, daily grind kind of stuff. Okay, so coming back up, inhale, exhale, we just find ourselves nice and stable and table. Inhale, exhaling, extending my left arm and my right leg. Inhale and exhale, lifting up so that we're one long piece of person. Inhale and exhale, crunch in. Bringing everything as tight as we can. Inhale. Woof. Yes, that is really good. Inhale and be extending through your fingertips and through your toes. And exhale in. I lost count, so I'm going to do one more. And there we go. Coming down nice and slow. Oh, and you'd think we're done, but we're not. We're going to go right into plank, you guys. We can do this. Inhale. Oh, I brought one leg up. And I'm, again, hyping myself. It's like, we can do this. And my brain's like, really? We can. We can. And both knees up into plank. Oh, I'm shaking, but there's a third breath. And one more. As deep as we can get it. Ooh wee. Okay. Just pushing back a little bit. Really getting that blood flowing. Okay, coming back into a tabletop. I'm turning my toes under. Inhale. And shoot up and exhale into downward facing dog. Making sure we're not bunching our shoulders up around our neck. You can kind of walk your feet in or a little wider or a little farther back. Just kind of experiment and feel how that feels today. Really sinking in, feeling a deep stretch through the back of our legs. Before coming down into a plank position, maybe lowering our knees and very gently, slowly lowering our body to the ground. I'm going to stack my hands and just rest here for a moment. It's at times like this where I'm exerting myself and I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm like sweaty and I'm out of breath and my heart's pounding, and it's the fat lazy house cat in me is thinking of, I could still be bundled up in my chair sipping my tea, scrolling through Instagram, just being a bum, like perfectly comfortable, not a care in the world. But I think it's very good to practice being challenged when you are in a state of control. Like, we're just here in our homes, or you might be at like a gym or in a yoga studio or something, or wherever you are right now. I'm hoping that you're in a position of control, that if this is challenging, you can stop at any time. Like, you can come out of the posture and rest for a bit and then hop back in. And it's so good to get good at being uncomfortable and being challenged and knowing the thresholds and limitations of your body, knowing how to challenge them, knowing how to knowing how to honor them too. Because if we don't know those things about ourselves, then, then we might start believing what we tell ourselves about ourselves. That I really didn't think that I'd be able to do 5 full breaths there in plank. And I like to challenge that mindset every time I start thinking things like that about myself, that it's like, no, I don't think I can do that. There's this other voice in my head that I've conditioned to just be like, well, let's try. Let's see what happens. It's my favorite thing is proving myself wrong about, things that I think I can't do. And it's like, and I think if y'all try that, you might be very surprised by what you're capable of, even if you can't do the thing that you're like, yeah, I bet I can't do that. It's like, well, let's see. You still may surprise yourself in other ways and be like, well, I didn't do what I set out to do, but I did a lot better than I thought I would. Or, wow, I really liked how that felt. Or, any number of things. I don't want, for me personally, to live in fear of discomfort. I want to live in embracing of it. Because I tell you what, it's going to feel so much better getting back into my comfy chair with a fresh cup of tea after having done this, because that contrast in flavors, so to speak, between being a house cat with the zoomies and a house cat laying on its bed. Each one is better because the other exists. So let's not bulk away from these challenging moments whenever our arms are shaking and our hearts are pounding and our breath is ragged. Let's really lean into them and challenge ourselves and see what happens. So I'm coming here, putting my hands below my shoulders, inhaling and lifting not with the help of my arms at first, but I'm going to reach my arms back. We're actually adding a new pose. This is locust pose. So I'm reaching my arms back, and I have my chest lifted, and I'm going to treat it like I am being pulled by my fingers, just coming up. And we can even lift our feet too, almost as though we're flying through the air by our bellies, I guess. I don't really know how the physics of that would work, but just almost think of like Iron Man. So if I had my hands, then I'm shooting rockets out of my feet and my hands. And inhale and exhale up. Hold for a full breath rotation. So inhale, exhale, inhale, down. Once more. This is very challenging, by the way, for me at least. I'm going to inhale and exhale up into locust. Ooh, didn't do a full breath rotation there, but that's all right. And on this last time, we're actually just going to lift and then push up into cobra. Stretching our neck out a little bit, loosening up our glutes and maybe shaking them a little bit. So just, having that muscular control to maybe squeeze one glute a few times and then the other, and both of them, and then none of them. You could even bring your heels together and squeeze them up towards your butt. Oh my god, my hamstrings. Ouch. I got a cramp. Give me a sec. Ah! So yeah, maybe we could try that. Maybe. Oh, from here, pushing up and back onto hands and knees, walking my knees forward. Oof. And I'm going to meet y'all down here in cobbler pose. Oh my goodness. That's some good yoga right there. So holding on to my ankles just to add some resistance. We could also sit on our hands or just make our elbows really, really heavy. Just rolling our head around, inhaling and exhaling, and then change direction. Getting all into that stiff taffy of our neck and shoulders. Changing directions just however feels good too. You could alternate it every single time if you wanted. There are no rules. Just honor your body and do what feels good. From here, let's start pulling the taffy for our lower back. I'm just holding on to my feet, leaning from side to side on a squeaky board apparently. And just, I'm actually kind of hunching my back intentionally, like getting into cat, but really, really stretching. And then we'll come up. Inhale, growing up and out, and then hinging forward at the hips. We can bring blocks in front of us to bring the ground to our hands. Wiggle our toes, say, hey, toe beans. Boop, boop. I'm just practicing touching my pinky toes together, and then my big toes together, and then my pinky toes together, and then the big toes together. Just because when was the last time we did that? And it's always nice to throw something new into our old neural pathways, kind of mix it up. It's kind of, I think of it as trail maintenance. Some of the neural pathways in our brain might have become overgrown. And so it's nice to just go through and make sure that we're still connected to that part of our body and doing that thing, whatever that thing is. Like, when was the last time you like tried to flip your tongue upside down? Let's do that right now too. I think I can only do it one direction though. Yeah, I remember I practiced it as a kid whenever I lost like one tooth on one side. I was able to. I never quite figured it out on the other side. Maybe as I get older, if I start losing teeth, I'll be able to finally practice. Not to wish that. I hope I can keep all my teeth for as long as possible. One day I'll be an old horse with wooden teeth or something, I'm sure. And just as I breathe and ramble, this is legit 100%. I'm just verbalizing my inner dialogue of like just my thoughts. So, sorry. But just let your thoughts come and go. Say hey to them, but let them go until all the thoughts driving by slow down and you've got just a clear road of no cars coming. And all there is your breath and you feeling a good stretch, breathing into it. And breathing in, letting it swirl around, and then letting it go. From here, we could set our blocks close to our feet and put our elbows on them so that we want to keep our heart open and growing forward, but we really want to get nice and deep into that stretch. Before rising back up from the hips. And now from here, I think yesterday we did a side stretch. Let's do a twist today. So I want to think of ascending a spiral staircase, kind of up and out through the top of my head. So I'm not just wrenching my spine around. I actually want to focus on that growing feeling. And you could put a block behind you just for something to rest your hand on, because I don't necessarily, like I said, to be wrenching around, but I want to use just the support of my muscles as we come around and then place my hands to provide a bit of support. Very similarly to how when we lift in Cobra, we use the muscles first and then support with our hands and arms. The same concept, I think. We could even reach behind us and not even put our hands on the ground at all. As we inhale, we can come out of the stretch and then exhale a little deeper in. We can inhale, come to the center, and exhale, turn to the side, the other side. Inhale and exhale here before inhaling back to the center, and then alternating. And let's just move with our breath here. So we've exhaled, inhaling to center, exhaling around. Inhale, exhale. Oh, I inhaled again though. It's really, you'd think breathing would be easier for something that I've done literally all the ding dong day. Like every day I'm alive so far. But I still get tripped up. So just keep moving. It's okay if you stumble with your breathing or things don't line up perfectly on each side every time. Again, there's no rules here. Maybe you need just a little bit more breathing on one side than the other. There we go. Thank you guys so much for joining me here today. I really had a great time doing some yoga with y'all. I look forward to hearing from you down in the comments about how you're doing. At the time of recording, it's early September still, but whenever there's a breeze, there's a couple of slightly yellowed leaves that the trees are letting go already, and it just added this like beautiful like leafy musical tone to the breeze, and it's so nice because I am with great anticipation awaiting fall. Do you guys call it fall or autumn? Let me know down in the comments. Like, I'm wondering if that's a regional thing, like soda and pop. I used to say pop when I was a kid, but then I moved to Texas and everybody made fun of me. So I was like, well, what else do you call it? And they were like, soda, you heathen. Um, so I don't know. Actually, just I stopped drinking it altogether for the most part because I got tired of people looking at me like I was deranged every time I asked for a pop. But we'll see y'all next time. So until then, you guys keep on keeping on. Mwah. Bye.